guys, welcome back to Everyday Struggle with Nadeska, DJ, Academics, and Bueno.
Good morning.
What's good, y'all?
I mean, Nadeska got the knees out, yo. You know what I mean? Know what I mean?
But I moisturized my knees, did you?
Yeah. Listen, man, the Lubriderm works everywhere.
You call shea butter bullshit. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't use no shea butter. I use, that's what shea butter Twitter. I use
from what I could see, you use nothing.
Lubriderm?
Nah, I started using the Vaseline, the whack one.
Yeah,
you know that's like super thin Vaseline?
Shit.
Who uses that? What do you moisturize with that? I think only white people. And you. But anyway, Academics, you look good 2 days in a row with a decent outfit. Don't lotion shame me.
Yo, the drip been fly this week, man. Y'all stop hating, man. Look at y'all.
The drip been
I'm trying to get y'all drip up,
That
man.
sounds crazy. The drip been fly this week. You sound ridiculous even saying something like that.
That's your man.
I'm gonna ask Sauce Walker how to say it. Sauce, tell me how to say it, bro. Okay?
All right, y'all. We're going to do a lot of fan questions today. You guys have been sending some really good ones, but we're going to start with a couple quick hits, some business moves, some people making moves. Let's start with Mike Will Made It. He's currently curating the Creed 2 soundtrack. Confirmed features include Kendrick, Lil Wayne, Nas, Travis Scott, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more people coming up. Now, recently he did an interview with Variety where he talked about the importance of essentially showing this new generation that a soundtrack can be just as exciting as a traditional album. You guys know I loved the Black Panther soundtrack. Still one of my favorite projects of the year. So I think it's really dope we're seeing another artist putting together such a big piece of work.
Yeah, there's always been dope soundtracks though. I mean, like Murder Was the Case was a dope soundtrack. Above the Rim, you know, I know movies, so it's a lot of soundtrack you go in for days. But I like the fact that them doing soundtracks and curating them gives them an opportunity to win different awards. Like if you win an Emmy or you win an Oscar, I know that's really far off from Creed. Not saying that it can't happen, but you get an award for that. Because Hustle and Flow, Juicy J and them, remember when they got their Oscar? It was from that. You know, so we'll see. We'll see that. I think this is dope, though. I think this could be dope.
I just like new music. I definitely won't be checking out the movie, but I'll definitely check out the...
Why?
I don't know what the movie about. The fuck? Like, I don't even watch movies. I gotta keep it 100 with you. Like, I watch more YouTube Red movies than like a traditional movie. Unless it's like Avengers or like superhero shit. I gotta watch those. But yeah, I'm
Killmonger from Black Panther.
That's the
Michael
movie?
B. Jordan. I mean, Michael B. Jordan is the main.
Oh, it's some boxing movie, right?
Yeah.
It's a spinoff from Rocky's movie.
Wasn't there another one like
Creed 1?
Creed. It was the first Creed.
Oh,
so it was
Apollo, Creed 2.
Creed is Apollo Creed's son. Who Apollo Creed? He died in the ring fighting against Drago, right? So the movie is based on him now fighting the dude who killed his father's son. So that's where it goes. So maybe Mike Will is going to tell us some of the narrative and that shit. He might be able to score it as well.
Ain't no disrespect, man. The only boxing movie I ever watched was Muhammad Ali joint with I think.
That's the only boxing movie you ever seen?
Yeah, but I'm not watching these joints. It's like, yo, Rocky's old as dirt, bro. Like, the Rocky movie.
Oh my, okay.
Bro, I gotta keep it. I don't watch this shit. But I will tell you, like, I'm super happy that Mike Will and other entertainers, for the reason you even said.
So let me ask you this question. I mean, when we get older, which we will, and younger generation doesn't appreciate all the things we love, like the take cares and all that other shit, like, do you have the same? Are you
Is
the
he
same
gonna
way?
keep
Like,
that same
when somebody
energy?
says, I don't watch that old shit. Like, who gives a fuck about it?
Nah, like, that's none of your time. Like, yo, bro, I'm not.
So you can't appreciate stuff that's not from your time? That's not in the now?
No, I'm not dissing saying it's whack, nigga. I never really watched it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like when everybody got in their feelings when Yachty said, nah, I never really listened to the old shit. Like, I get it, he's in hip hop, should do a little bit more, but and of course he said a little bit symmetrical.
But at the same time, Yachty was born in '97, so I kind of understood, like, when he said he never heard Biggie, like Life After Death came out in '97, he was born that year. I don't know what was the most lit album the year I was born, and I don't think you have to know that in order to be in
When the Rocky movie dropped?
Rocky in the '80s, I believe.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but no one in your family ever. I'm not a movie buff either. Wayno is, but like I've seen it because like my older cousins watched it and shit like that.
It's classic film. Sylvester Stallone, like nothing.
I don't even like most of the films.
1976, the original Rocky. Oh my
Ooh,
yeah,
damn. I mean, I seen it in the '80s, of course, because I didn't know what year shit was dropping when I was a kid.
All right, we got way off topic. We just wanted to say, like, much love to Mike Will. It's really dope to see him doing this. I'm here for the music.
Michael B. Jordan as well.
Michael B. Jordan, that's my guy. But as far as the film, I'm gonna pass on this one.
All right, I picked this next topic just for you. All right, so Drake and Scooter Braun have just bought an ownership stake in esports brand 100 Thieves. So now this was launched by professional gamer Nadeshot?
Nadeshot.
Nadeshot, I got it
my
right.
guy,
It just looks like a misspelling of my name, so it's very confusing to me. Now, he previously received funding from Dan Gilbert, and now with this extra funding, the company's looking really good. And ACK is also doing a gaming panel at ComplexCon. So give us some background on this this business venture,
panel.
first of all.
No. Well, actually, I think this is such a great move. Like, I think with the recent like uprising of like Fortnite being such a popular game, and like you see rappers and entertainers kind of embracing that culture, people don't realize that esports in general is a billion-dollar industry.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
They sell out stadiums in overseas. Like, there's stadiums of people that will show up to watch people play video games, and the scene is kind of getting bigger here in the United States. So watching Nadeshot, who used to be a Call of Duty guy, he got his own thing, and Drake, who got his eye on the culture. I was playing games with Nav recently, and I'm like, yo, Nav, if you like this shit so much, bro, it takes nothing for you to invest like some amount of money. It doesn't have to be like millions, and kind of get some guys to represent a brand. And to be honest, that's a money-making thing. You got the brand, you connect hip-hop, the cool, with gaming. I think that's the match right now.
Can I go off course
like
for a second?
Always.
Nah, because
multiple choice, man.
I'm offended because I play video games and I wasn't considered for the panel. I'm tight at Complex right now. Now I really fuck with games though, but a lot of people don't know how big gaming is because it's looked at as like a childish thing.
Right.
And I always say that, you know, you should never feel like you're too old for things that make you happy. Gaming, a kid that's sitting in the crib all day playing 2K is sitting on a 75 to 100K a year job. Wow. You know, Rock Nation is starting to get into e-gaming and all of that. My man Beehive is creating some stuff. So this is a dope move, but like when I see Drake get into it, I didn't know that Drake was in the games. I personally, I really thought that Drake seeing the opportunity that was something big going on and attached himself to it. I
Which
didn't know if
is
he's
also fine, right? But
I mean, that's fine.
Play,
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that.
Yo, it separates the boys from the men, and it separates the true businessmen here. Because all these niggas play games. They all play 2K. There's a 2K league. There's a 2K league that they want to attach to big names. Again, it may take a little bit of work, or maybe you gotta get somebody on your team, maybe a manager, something to kind of like oversee it. But that's some shit that's gonna blow up. Like if you look at the earning potential, if you told my investing, right, and you know, like we gave credit for Drake and LeBron when they were on the shop because they were talking about.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I was just gonna say back to our conversation
I know
about
you
him planning
segues.
for the future.
Planning for the future and exiting and chilling and not doing too much in one
Beyond
place.
just music.
Now, I don't know if that means exiting. That definitely means
Planning
Not exiting.
for
He'll
the
never not
future.
rap. Like,
that means knowing where money's about to come in. That's being a great businessman.
yeah.
AKA
And-
planning for the future and retirement at some point. Just say it,
Good
academics.
businessman. I was just saying
Well,
that.
you know,
That's. It shows he has an eye on the. He has a pulse on what's going on.
Yeah.
And I really fuck with that.
Well, you know what? I was having a conversation with a dude that has a game. I went to a brunch like in Philly, a winners brunch that my homies put together, and I was having a conversation with a dude that he's a professional gamer, and he was telling me that he wanted to like start bridging hip hop commentary into gaming. And I was like, the only thing you got to be like careful with is that a lot of kids that play games don't give a fuck about what's going on in hip hop. You know, they might like a song here and there, but they might not want to hear about who's beefing and none of that shit.
I disagree.
Really? I mean,
I learned years ago. That's why I even went on Twitch.
okay.
I remember I started playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And everybody's name that was good was something Chief Keef or something Sosa. Also, and I was like, yo, what's going on? Now, now a lot of them, they don't have too much like knowledge of hip hop.
Right.
Granted. But like what boils to their surface is the stuff within their lane. Like Yachty has a popular song or 6ix9ine or whoever, and that's their introduction of hip hop.
Yeah.
And then you get to realize that the music that these kids listen to has changed. Like I watch a lot of streamers, and I was telling you about how people's music get promoted. Like this is one guy, he streams for like 120,000 people live.
Right.
You know what he's playing? He's playing some hip hop shit.
Yeah.
You get me?
Well, what I meant by that is I think that, you know, where you have the journalistic conversations, like that type of content for the person that's casually playing the game. Right. I don't know if your attention span is going to permit you to listen to that while you're gaming.
Got it. But he wants to make it an option so you could turn it on if you want.
Well, no, he just was asking like he asked me like, you know, of course how I got on the show and everything, and then my ideas of that. And I was like, you know, it's a lot of different ways you could do it, but I said like you have to be a little bit careful because a lot of people who are the casual rap fan don't give a fuck about video games as well. I mean, it's a big crowd, but I think you got to be particular in how you engage it.
It's going to be interesting to see how this continues to evolve and how many more people like invest and push it forward. This feels like just the beginning.
Hey, there's like 15 like rappers who like have Twitch gaming channels at this point because they realize that your fans see you in a different light. Like you'll see YB on Mighty J, you'll see Nav, you'll
They
see
started out
Slum God.
playing games though first and kind of connected from that.
Yeah, but you'll see most of these people, they'll get on that platform where they'll just be kicking it and they'll just kind of answer fan question. And also, I always bring up this classic example. One of the main reasons, and Logic will even admit it, there's this huge group, it's called FaZe Clan.
I seen that before.
Yeah, they played Logic's music as a conglomerate, and they were getting like 300,000 people watching simultaneous.
Wow.
Right.
Like just to put that in perspective, that's why when people try to shit on that audience, Summer Jam, when it was at its peak, when they started live streaming, pulled 80,000.
So
the gaming shit is 300.
Well, a lot of the gaming shit that I watch a lot of the fighting games. So I watch like guys like Sonic Fox and shit. And the thing is like this dude is wearing like a Tails or a Sonic like hat. Like there's no, you don't see like a kind of a hip hop influence on him. So I feel like a lot of times some shit could be forced depending on the type of game. Like Fortnite, and Call of Duty, a lot of people like games for shooting. But if we start getting into street fighting and all of that, a lot of those kids might not be into it as much. That's what I mean.
He'll find an audience. What's good with female gamers? Do they have a big community or not really?
Nah, there is. It's just that there's beef in that community because
It's beef in every community.
because
like,
half of the female gamers, like, they don't even care about the game. They just want to like capitalize on little kids wanting to see women,
Right.
Like whatever. So they'll dress a little edgy or whatever.
I got
And then
you.
there's certain like women, like they're nasty at it. Like seriously, I played in the tournament. And I got spanked out by this
for what
female
game?
gamer.
For Fortnite?
Fortnite. Not gonna lie, man, she was nasty.
But none of them are making sort of these big business moves yet?
Like, well, they're getting those are streamers. This guy, he used to be a part of one of the biggest gaming clans. He dropped out to create his own, and it's that foresight of probably Drake realizing, like, yo, rather than just like getting someone who's not in that community and just throwing a bunch of money at it, let me link with this guy. Great move.
You know, and just closing, like, what's so crazy about this is like, this is the shit that my mother used to tell me not to do.
That's the worst part, yo. It's all the things they yelled at you for as a kid.
My mom used to fucking yell at me because I could figure out, I could play 7 different games and know all the controls, but I couldn't figure out pies and radiuses and all of that shit. But the ill thing about it is it's creating like new revenue for kids. So if you sitting around and you playing games, if you take it serious, these kids is winning $15 million pots. They have a conference or something, or a tournament that they do in the Barclays, 20,000 people in there for gaming, and the average person doesn't know that. So you can have a whole career playing video games.
It's pretty crazy, man.
And just a business little tip for like anyone who do want to invest, because Drake is, I'm gonna tell you why Drake is smart. Just on numbers, we can just talk numbers. You're gonna think about a big Fortnite streamer like Ninja. He's making $500,000 a month, right? You sign somebody like that because they sign people. That's like a label.
Yeah, it's like a label.
So eSport organization is like a label.
Right.
You get entertainers, like, okay, you guys just get on and make sure you get a big audience, and then you guys play for the money. So you'll have some of these things, yo, they're playing for $3 million. If the team that you own a part of or you sponsor won, you're getting a cut of that money just because you're in the right place. It's like, it's a label. You get me?
Right.
So again, very smart business move by him. And to be honest, I hope to see other rappers join him.
Yeah, I feel like I have a lot to learn here. So are you not doing the panel then? Can I not pull up?
Some stuff happening, man. And that's good.
Sorry, I didn't know it was secret.
I'm doing a
CompexCon is
panel as
next
well.
week. I thought we were trying to promote this event where we're going to be.
Good.
Never mind. All right, y'all. It's been a minute since we put anyone on the clock. So we have 2 contenders today, and you guys tell me if there should be or not. Let's start with T Grizzly. I feel like you were both fans of him when he first came out. He dropped First Day Out, what was that, November 2016. Definitely his biggest hit so far. It went platinum. He dropped an album this year, actually, Activated. I don't know if you guys had a chance to listen, if it hit your radar. And he's had a couple other singles that did well. But do you feel like, based on the trajectory from that first single, the buzz he had, do you feel like he's been capitalizing on that?
I feel like he's capitalized. I also feel like he's gotten a bit lazy. I feel like when he first dropped, it was a more eagerness because First Day Out is a real story. Him getting out of jail, facing 20-something crazy years, and him making a record about it and it becoming a hit. So the reason why I don't want to put T Grizzly on the clock only because a lot of things change, but the streets don't. And he always has the streets on smash. He's respected everywhere he goes in every region. So I feel like when he puts out more, if he puts out more content, it's gonna be well received. And I attribute
But
that
how
to,
soon? So, like I said, the album came out this year.
It came out
Do you guys
this
feel like
year,
it was
like-
impactful?
I don't think it was impactful, but I mean, it was good. It was good, but it
Okay.
wasn't like something that everybody was ranting and raving for.
Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna have to put T Grizzly on the clock, and I fuck with T Grizzly. But actually, to be honest, I might even put the whole 300 on the clock, and not as far as artists, the label, because not gonna lie, I'm seeing some good stuff come, like some artists making some good stuff, and I don't know if they're dropping the ball, but it's something not connecting. Shit, Shot Glizzy just dropped a pretty good album, and you know what I mean? I thought the
He's on
label could do a little bit
300
more. Yeah, but as far as T Grizzly, this is why I'm putting him on the clock. You're right about what you said. Like, yeah, a lot of things change. The streets know. He has an audience, but when I'm thinking about putting somebody on the clock, like that First Day Out record, which made the charts, of course, he had the other joint with him and Yachty, and he has.
He was on Yachty's album too.
Yeah, and he had a joint, I think it was him and Pump, unless I'm tripping. But
Yeah, From the D to the A was a Yachty track.
yeah, and then it was
remember the
like
Pump one.
the
He got a joint with Boogie
Grizzly,
too, I believe.
something.
There's another one called No Effort. That was pretty big for him too.
Yeah.
But I think we're looking for him to kind of bubble up beyond just the streets. You get me? And we saw that potential in an artist. You know, like Meek got that potential. Like, yo, I could make records that are not compromising who I am, but it'll be hot enough that y'all all have to fuck with it.
What?
And that's the only reason why I'm putting him on the clock, because sometimes you get that window of opportunity where people are looking at you like, could you make another one?
Right.
And yeah, you're serving your base, but you always want to still be in that conversation.
Yo, I don't, and that's the thing, because I feel like he still has time. I feel like, me personally, I didn't see.
That's why he's on the clock. Running out.
Right. I didn't feel like when I seen T Grizzly, I didn't think that he had like hit making potential. When we talk about Meek, Meek has hit making potential. T Grizzly's record is kind of similar to the Dreams and Nightmares outro, how it has the build up. I think that's why it was received so well. But I didn't look to him to be doing like bigger shit. I viewed him as there, and if he can come out of that, then cool. But I kind of view him in a certain space, and I know that's kind of unfair, but I'm just going by what he's presented to me for 2+ projects now,
Interesting.
right? So
Okay, so for
yeah.
you, he is not on the clock.
He's not on the clock for
For
me.
Aki is.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him on the clock because I feel like he has another level to ascend to. And if I thought he was just cooling out and just like leveled out, and probably this was about where we could expect him to be in the next couple of years, I'll be fine. But I think, to be honest, man, he could be that guy. Like, yo, Detroit needs one, and I do believe that he's that guy. You know, we got Big Sean. He's gonna give you certain type of records.
Right.
Like, we always need that. We always need that element where you're telling from that story from the street.
We want the
I
most
think
introspective hood
Detroit
music.
is too fucking gutter, man. Like, no, I'm just talking about like their approach, because we haven't seen. I mean, in terms of like mainstream artists, of course, M is the fucking pinnacle of what you see when it comes to Detroit.
Yeah.
But then you have a lot of guys like even Doughboy Cash Out. You got them. It's so many different guys from Detroit where they have the potential, but it's like, oh nah, this motherfucker too street for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Even Cash Doll, like Cash Doll is another one, but I know she had a lot of problems with her label she was signed to and getting out of that. But she's another person I think could get to a high level.
Interesting.
You know?
Hey, we see Kodak changing after being released, right? Getting his
Right.
degrees,
Right.
becoming a scholar. So I'm sure anyone could do it.
Right.
All right, so we got one more.
Yeah.
Smoke Perp. All right, so remember he dropped his debut tape, Dead Star, what was that, September 2017 via Alamo. He had a lot of big features on it. He had Chief Keef, Travis, Yo Gotti, a couple more people. Of course, he made the freshman cover this year.
Yeah.
He released a project called Bless Your Trap with Murder Beats in April 2018. But after Rundown Russ popped up,
Hey.
he's been a little bit quiet. Do you guys feel like Smoke Perp is on the clock?
I put Smoke Perp on the clock. I definitely put Smoke Perp on the clock, and I feel like and he's such a nice guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, he's such a nice
and
guy.
talented.
But a lot of for his ability and how he makes music, it's fly by night. It's not really nothing special where I feel like I can't go get that from somebody else. There's not a big distinction. Like Pump, even though Pump is not, I'm not looking for Pump to be Nas or be lyrical or none of that shit. Pump has a higher hit making ability, and I feel like the shit that you said before with X and Slump God about him being in shadow, I feel like he's kind of in Pump shadow a bit. You know,
Interesting.
so I think he has the ability to make records, but I think he's on the clock at this point.
Okay. Do you think Pump is his biggest competition in his peer group?
I'm not gonna lie, that shadow shit is real. Like you always say, if you stand too close to someone, you will either be the one that's shining or you'll get drowned out in their shadow. That's just how even fucking just like life works. But I'm not gonna put him on the clock, and this is why. If there was another category called "Why Isn't It All Connecting," he would definitely be on it. Probably number one. No, some real. But okay, we got to find what does putting somebody on the clock mean, right? For me, putting someone on the clock means, yo, it's been a while since we've heard some shit that is making us feel however about you. So to be honest, if you don't do it soon, your window of opportunity might dwindle down till like it's almost like we could count you out, right? I don't feel like Perp has done that. I don't think any of the songs, like he's had a couple. Audi was dope, right? 1, 2, 3, shit. Like when I talk to these people from Alma, I was like, yo, I love this record. Like I play this, I love that record, but it didn't connect. Nephew, love that record, didn't connect, right? He dropped the tape with Murder, just didn't connect.
What's your theory for why it's not connecting then?
So go ahead, finish, because I got something I want to say about that.
I do believe partly it's because of Pump. Like a lot of things he does, Pump does, and Pump does better and gets more recognition.
He's more popular than him as well.
You get me? So like, honestly, in certain types of trolling, like they both were with the fuck J. Cole thing, but to be honest, Pump became more associated for that.
Interesting.
Right? They both did certain things with even like promoting drug use or even objectifying women, but Pump either got the majority of the flag for it. So it was like y'all are kind of doing a lot of similar things, but the popular guy is getting more of the like flack or credit for it. And then he gets the hit. Gucci Gang, I'm out of here. The race was here. Gucci Gang, nigga, we just lapped you 3 times.
And then Pump followed up with a couple.
I would like, the reason why I say on the clock, because with your criteria, I say they a wave, right? They a wave, and waves come and go. And I feel like even for Pump, we not having a conversation about him being on the clock, but if you look at 5-year spurts, it used to be 5-year spurts where you could say, damn, 5 years ago, it's a lot of artists that were relevant that aren't anymore. This shit is like 2 years now. It's 2 more kids that look just like them, that can rap just like them, that all they need is to find the next hottest producer to put themselves in that space. I don't think that none of these dudes is special, because when I look at all the people that are special.
And you mean talent-wise, right? Because we want to separate the antics, because talent is what keeps you around long term.
Talent-wise, talent-wise. Because when I look at the people who are special, like Kendrick, Cole, Drake, etc., not fair to group them in, but if we're talking about hip-hop and we're talking about lasting, you got to have something for people to stick to you with. And I feel like all of this shit is going to be somebody to come out and do something dumber than the last thing you did that was dumb. And then they have their record, and then you're swept to the side, because it's easy, we forget so easily. Pretty sure if we look back at 5 years ago, which, how long ago is that? 2013, it's a lot of artists that didn't make it to 2018.
It's true.
And this is around this weird-ass time where all of these dudes are changing, everybody's getting face tats. There's so many people that didn't have face tats that now that's a thing. It's like a regular thing. So all of these wave artists, a lot of them is not going to last when the wind blows.
Yeah, well, I would have, again, with the criteria that I have, right, I would have put Pump on the clock before Perp.
Wow, really?
And I would have done that before the record I Love It, whatever, with Kanye came out.
Okay.
Because I'm looking for you to meet your last
like his
memorable
second
moment.
The next song would have to measure up to Gucci
so I'm like,
Gang.
remember
That's
Gucci
a really
Gang.
high bar, though.
No, well, not Gucci Gang, but a song that we could associate. Like, he dropped a couple other ones that I really like. He dropped the Ashan record, the Sketty record, like those.
I like
but
Sketty.
The Sketty was great.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that was.
Well, it's hard to recapture that moment,
Yeah.
right?
No, not that moment, but to get a song that you're not the Gucci Gang rapper for the rest of your career. Now, he might still be, but at least you'll be like, oh, this is another hot song.
And
you
I
get
feel
me?
like, and again, right, like, even when you look at a person, like, I look at like even Gucci Mane, just because that name just struck in my mind, but a Gucci Mane. Look how long his career has lasted. And it hasn't just been him putting out a bunch of, like, the songs like So Icy. Now, So Icy is the first time I ever heard him, but it took him a slew of records of other shit for him to last. And for them, Gucci Gang, I could think of Gucci Gang as Get It. After that, I don't know nothing in between. Nobody's building catalog. They just trying to catch the hit record, cash out, get a big check. And Pump is only, what, 17 now?
You're making my point, though.
All right, that's what I'm saying. So I'm curious to know is where you going to be at 23? And that's very, very, very young.
Right.
That's very young. What's the plan? I don't see anything into that rollout. You might have money, but I don't know if you'll still be an artist.
I think there's some intangibles that needs to be connected for Perp. And that's why I haven't put him on the clock yet. By the way, I love the majority of his records. We see a Travis Scott co-sign. We see him and Pump are so cool. Pump was in his last video, gave him a feature.
Yeah.
We see all of that, but it's still, we're not here sitting like, yo, let's just talk Perp's music outside the context of saying is he on the clock or not. And by the way, let's be clear, because, you know what I mean, T Grizzly might be watching this and Smoke Perp might be watching this. You drop a hit tomorrow, it's like niggas
Everything
is like
None of this matters.
None of this matters, right?
This conversation
But
was
it's just
stupid.
a conversation. But my question is do you think that the Rush shit hurt Perp?
Now, of course. Of course. I think what it did is it cooled him off the gimmicks. And that's big.
But we're
So,
seeing
like,
that it hurt him now, but we don't know if that's hurtful
But
in
if
the
it
long
cools
run.
you-
If he's cooling off right now with the gimmicks and then he comes back with amazing music, does it really matter?
But if he
he's
doesn't-
If he doesn't, again.
No, he's a type of artist, whether the music is there or not, even Pump, whether the music is there or not, they match it with gimmicks. He's not one of those let the music speak for itself.
The
type of
conversation we were just having about Tyler yesterday, at which point do they have to stop with the gimmicks and they've just proven enough with music and creative that they can push through that lane?
And that's the point I was making about Tyler, because even though, like, Tyler had all the antics, the crazy shit, the crazy videos, he had enough bars where you was like, all right, I could tolerate hearing them.
Right.
People get annoyed with that type of music easily, and it's fly by night. Like, Tyler, none of them have the talent level lyrically of a Tyler, lyrically of a Haji Beats or any of them. So I don't see none of them lasting. Because, okay, we in the tattoo, face tat, dread era, right? For these young guys, it's gonna be something else. And if you don't have music that could subside and like carry you over, then you're just gonna be left. Like, you're gonna be the guy that, remember him?
Yeah.
You'll be that.
It's interesting. We can speculate, right? But like, again, I bring up someone like a Gambino. I don't know if he's the perfect example, but just that early music, how it was not connecting with the hip hop audience, and now where he is. So sometimes you really can't see what people have coming,
Yo,
right?
I feel like
Honestly, well, the Tyler and even Gambino reference or maybe comparison to like these guys, I think it's like way off. And
Not saying
most
that they have
current-
the skill level. I'm just saying all the things you guys say I
even
agree.
their trajectory.
But sometimes it's
even
like
their trajectory, like
sometimes it's hard to
they
see.
can't just sustain themselves on music. I think honestly, probably the best like comparison for
That's
them
wild.
is what like 6ix9ine does.
Mm-hmm.
We need a song frequently, nigga. You might be on the clock every 4 months. If every 4 months you don't come with something, as opposed to like, you're not gonna say that for Gambino or
Yeah.
anyone
No,
else.
no,
Like,
not that I
a
put them on the
larger
clock. I
creative.
just meant like he
But-
wasn't the best example. I'm just saying
Yeah.
everything that you guys said considered.
Okay.
Sometimes we cannot know like the turns people are gonna take. That's
I
all.
felt like that. I felt like that for Trinidad James. I felt like for Trinidad James, today he would have been perfect for today. But he's an artist that didn't last from that time. As far like he still does his thing, right? He's up here doing full size run and all of
I
that.
don't know if he would have lasted, bro.
No, I'm not saying lasted. What I'm saying is that for today, he was ahead because he looked like a gimmick. Like, he looked like Jerome. Everybody made fun. Like, he looked like Jerome from Martin, the all gold, everything, the gold hair, the gold teeth, all of that shit. That's something that today is like, you see that and you're like, oh, that's not that far off. He came out in that weird ass time, like we were saying yesterday, that 2013-ish, 2012-ish, where people were still, I mean, Good Kid, Mad City's still out this time. People were looking at it and it is not as accepted as it is today. Now, a bunch of other shit that he went through hurt him musically, but it didn't last, because if he would have had more music, then he probably would have still been on the label that he's on, because now Def Jam is signing artists like that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
I mean, well, we got artists, we got albums like Daytona Outlet. For Trinidad James, like, I believe what really hurt him, you got to realize and whether people want to admit it or not, and that's what we're talking about, like the Pumps and the Perps, there's this area of hip hop that when we saw Trinidad James, he was like, it was a caricature of himself.
Right.
And like, we like that. Like, but then he didn't embrace it. All these new niggas, They embracing it, whether they're acting like they're satanic, like they really are. You get me? You're not, nigga. Like you're normal. Like like
your mom is this church going respectful.
You're normal, but you know what? What sells the records? When I'm putting out this image, I'm gonna still stay in character.
Yeah.
And if he had stayed in character back then, I think it would have worked. But you know what I mean? I think he did the Plies. I remember the first time I heard Plies not have a drawl when he was speaking. And he was speaking like a college professor. I said, "Whoa, this ain't the top goon." Like I'm like,
but
Fez gave you 100 years.
What thing about right? But the thing about Plies is, Plies had like 3 good albums. Like I said this before.
That's facts,
the first record
facts.
I heard from Plies was "Busted Baby," and I judged him off that like, "Oh nah, I'm not listening to that nigga." Yeah. And Beanie Siegel told me, listen to Plies. And I listened to Plies, I'm like, yo, he talking some real shit. And he followed up with a good album secondly. And then the third one, it didn't meet like the first 2, but it was still good enough to listen to. So Plies, another one, like if Plies comes with a hit tomorrow, it'll make you go back to all the other shit he had before. But you could go back and say, at least he was putting out good content.
Right.
Once Instagram came, everybody became a fucking comedian and had some funny thing to do. But you gotta have some music. That's what I'm saying. And it's crazy that an artist can't rely on music.
You know.
If and I don't know how this went to a Trinidad James topic, but if he had embraced that shit.
Oh yeah, no, I believe that as well.
You know, like that's the weird space for every artist. You get put on and people think you're something you're not. Shit, Joe went through that, right? Niggas pump it up. Oh, you're the nigga that makes songs like. No, I don't make songs like that. I like to make. What? We don't want to hear from you no more.
It's not a bad song,
right?
It's still a great song.
Yeah, no. But they want that content from you, and you're like, nah, I'm on about to give you some mood.
You know who went through that too? Lil B. I said that before. Lil B, when he was doing all the silly shit or whatever, everybody was loving him for that. When he made that album, I'm Gay, and everybody thought that it was gonna be that, and he really tried to put like a conscious effort behind his music, people like jumped away from him. But now today, a lot of these kids, if it's not for if it's not for Lil B, a lot of these kids don't have careers because all they did was take the blueprint of his bars and how he structures the shit, which, of course, is not.
No, but he's legendary for that.
Yeah, because now he's birthed a generation. We're going to look 5 or 10 years from now and be like, yo, he birthed a whole generation of these kids.
Right.
Hey, and this might be spilling some shit. I don't even think he cared about to say. But as ignorant and as stupid and as much as we make fun of him and everything, you think Lil Pump is because he's like whatever and he's Dr. Pump or whatever. I've talked to Pump. We've had many conversations. Pump ain't nowhere like that in real life. Like he's a smart kid. Now maybe we could say that's just an aspect of his personality.
Yeah.
But he's not gonna show you. He's not gonna show you that he's a smart kid and
That's right, yo.
it's that like you. They appeal to what sells, and if what sells is the BS.
I believe it. That's what I'm saying. That's what they're giving us now, but I'm waiting for one of them to jump out and make the left turn. I just don't know who it is at this very moment.
You know what? And this is what all right, like 6ix9ine, right? I ain't gonna lie. Regardless to all the crazy, stupid shit he does, I love when he does real shit. Like the shit he did with that little girl that has brain cancer, and he chilled with her, he putting the filters on him and her, they dancing together. I love to see that shit from him. I'm not a fan of his music like that, but if I would have seen that from the start, I would never have nothing crazy, like negative to say about him, but all the other shit is what kind of deteriorates that, because you get both pieces of the content, but what goes more? When he's disrespecting somebody as opposed to that.
And by the way, artists have tried, this is hip hop and music in general, niggas try to copy. I remember having this kind of same conversation in a nutshell with X 2016. Only thing people were seeing about him, of course he had a song, if you listen to Look at Me, it's a kind of a violent song, right? And people were just seeing these fight videos, crazy. And I would talk to him, he was in jail. Had very deep conversations, and I say, you need to showcase this side of you. And I said, when you showcase this side of you eventually, you have a fan base that's not only here for the bullshit.
Yep.
And look how for better or for worse, his fan base is like rabid. Yeah. You get me? But he was an artist that if he was alive, he was gonna be around for a long time. Like some of these niggas, like their fans only come and go with the song. They're like, all right, I'm a fan now. Nah, I ain't a fan tomorrow. Like you get me? So sometimes you gotta give a little bit more. And
Give him room to surprise us. That's what I say.
Right.
Let's see what happens, man.
That's
You
it.
really can't predict this shit sometimes.
You can't.
But you guys made some really good points. Maybe what time is it? We have time for one quick fan question before we go. How about this Future one? So we talked about sort of the scale. Future's been releasing a lot of projects. He just dropped the project with Juice WRLD. This one says, "What's good, EDS?" My question is, do you guys think Future has been releasing these joint albums, Super Slimy, Beast Mode 2, World on Drugs, as a way to get out of his contract situation with Rocco and saving his next major project for when he's in a new deal? If I remember correctly, like they said, him and Rocco settled out of court, right? I don't know if we knew the details of this, but anyway, thoughts?
Well, I don't know the details of, you know, what deal he was in or what deliverables or obligations he had to Rocco, but I don't think he's doing that just to get it out. Like, I feel like for how Future makes music, for him to do something with Juice WRLD, he gotta really, like, for him to do anything with anybody, he gotta fucking like you. Like, he
gotta be riding bicycles with you.
Yeah, like Future not just giving you a hook because he could cash out on giving you a hook. Like, he has to actually like you. So I do think that he cares about the shit that he's putting out. But again, with all of the shit that we said before, he's had a quiet, like, relevant year. Beast Mode, Superfly soundtrack, World on Drugs. Top of the year, I think Future's coming, but I don't think that it has anything to do with trying to get out of a contract because he did Future and Hendrix, when was that? Last year. That was 2017, right? End of 2017?
Which, by the way, Rocco promoted and claimed he was getting money off. I don't know. Again, this is speculating. I'm not even going to shoot this down because who knows if the settlement was, hey, Rocco, take this $1 million or $2 million. We have no contractual ties. Or, all right, fine, man. Since I breached that contract that was for 30 albums, obviously I'm just
I know what you're saying.
But, yo, the next 3 you'll eat off at this percentage. Maybe that. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I will say, if I'm Future, it's not worth it if that would be the case for me to not drop, because, like, I'll admit, Super Slimy, Beast Mode, World on Drugs, it's not something. Like,
does it hurt Future? That's the thing.
Yes, it does.
You think so?
Yes,
you
it
think
does.
that when he
That's what I'm
drops the next album, the reception's going to be different because people didn't love these?
Future, before he dropped DS2, the music he dropped before created a wave. That's the wave. These is not the wave for Future. Again, he has a pretty good brand. He has a pretty good brand. He's put in the work. He's not no artist just starting out. But if I'm Future, who's in this point of my career, again, I'm looking to how Travis made that leap, even though he made that leap already when he went to DS2, but he should be thinking about another leap. I'm not gonna lie, this looks like regression. A lot of this
like, you
music,
think he's going back instead of going forward?
but I'm excusing him because they're collab albums and also mixtape, right? Or Beast Mode 2 was a mixtape. But if I'm looking at it from a music standpoint and performance standpoint, I would have to say regression. But who knows? Perhaps when he comes with his next solo album, it will be back up to speed.
Wait, no. Can you thoughts on this specifically? Future's at a point in his career where I don't even know. Sometimes people just forget the mistakes you made. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
do you think it affects the next project?
I don't think it affects the next project only because it's like, I think with Future, people were always happy to get anything they could get from him, right? I mean, there was one point in time where he was flooding us with shit all the time. He flooded us and then he starved us for a bit. And then he threw out some shit, going through the legal troubles, going through personal shit, take a step back. And I think he's just like satisfying us for the moment so that he could have another great comeback. I think that Future's in a place where he doesn't falter. He just stays right here. And then he does have an opportunity to reach another level, but you can't determine how or when, and none of that's gonna come. But I don't think it like ruins any perception of his career or how he.
Well, of his momentum at the moment, I think it does.
I mean, momentum is a different thing because he's not putting out.
Does Future
his
need
project.
momentum? Is the question.
Momentum in terms of like how good the music is. I think he realized. You know why I think so? Because he started like some of the tweets. Remember when we sent out those tweets? He was kind of...
Wants his credit.
Yeah, he was kind of like, yo, all the new shit that y'all are hyping up. Yeah, you know why we're hyping the new shit up. We're not really hyping your shit up right now. Let's be honest, right? Let's keep it on.
I mean, but he
wanted to point out, like, I inspired these niggas. That to me, I take that as a sign of recognizing, like, what's going on.
Well,
not that he can't bring it back. Like, he could drop some fire shit and be back on.
So, like, Gucci Mane, right? Like, Gucci Mane, I think he's like... Future's kind of like in the Gucci Mane realm of he birthed a lot of sons. Because Gucci Mane, from the moment he came home, he was saying, all y'all niggas is taking my shit. I'm y'all grandfather. I got all y'all kids. You know, but you still can accept whatever new shit Gucci does. Like, it doesn't, and personally, I like fat Gucci more than skinny Gucci. You know what I mean?
You like the clone?
Yeah, I like the old Gucci more than
high
today.
cholesterol Gucci more than.
Listen, I don't want Gucci putting itself in harm's way.
You like him when he was like eating oxtails at night?
I like Gucci when everybody was like, he was the boogeyman. Like, I like that Gucci more.
Like he was doing a lot of bullshit then.
He was doing a lot of bullshit.
Chicks out cars, hitting people with Cristal bottles.
Yeah, no, he was wilding, but
squaring up in Lennox Small.
When he was like this, right? No, but I did like that Gucci more. His music for me just was better at that time. But I think Future's kind of in that seat, because a lot of the kids today, they did listen to him for the past 4 or 5 years when they was 12 and now they 17, or they was 15 and now they 20 and they putting their shit out. So there is a bit of frustration there, but I don't think it ruins anything with him. I think he's coasting right now. Yeah. He can come whenever he wants, and when like you said, he's gonna come when he comes with some heat, everybody's just gonna be like, all right, cool.
Well, my last thoughts on this. We'll see if we will just grandfather him into like legend status as he is.
He is, or he is already.
Yo, the great and the legendary artists, they could create that wave again. You get me? Like, think about all the great artists. They don't only have one run where like, oh shit, that run was amazing, like that 2-3 years. Yeah. Sometimes you'd be like, oh, this was good, but then what happened to this? Like Drake has had like 4. Jay-Z's had like 3. You get me? Like, where you could be like those runs, and it could be like 2 albums, 2 years, 3 years. I felt like he had a special couple
Drake
of years.
has had like 10 years.
Yeah, but
He's been on the run.
But when you kind of lump a couple of years.
So when you said like nothing was the same, if you read it, it's like all of that.
Like,
I know, I get what you're saying.
So I think he's a legend, but I want to see if he could really heat it back up where musically he has everything on lock. Not that he needs to, but I want to see if he could do that, because I feel like he still has a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
As you should. You should want to be the best all the time.
He's earned it.
Right.
All right, let's see how soon we get this project. We're speculating top of 2019, right? We feel like he's probably not going to try to squeeze it in. We'll see. All right, we got to go, but I want to say thank you to 718J for that question. And you guys, please keep sending. You've been doing really great with these. Although, what happened to you sending video questions?
Yeah,
Did you get
videos
shy?
So
you guys roast us all the time. Like, we just want to be able to return the favor. So if you want, you could DM it in text, but send the video at Everyday Struggle with
just
2 Gs
DM the
on
Deska,
Twitter.
man. She wants you on the DMs.
No, I don't check those often enough. Send it to the main Everyday Struggle account. We'll see you Monday on Everyday Struggle.
Peace.